Hey, always be selling. Drop your information in the chat as well. Let us know who you are. What we already talked about where you're located, who you are. Drop something in there about your business. Tell us a little bit. Give us a few good nuggets. And then also, have you started the application? I would love to hear that. Have you started the application? Have you submitted? Let's do that. Let's do that while I pull these slides up, okay?
Real quick, turn on your cameras. I don't know if you guys have ever spent some time talking to yourselves in the mirror, but it's not that cool. So turn on these cameras. Let me see your beautiful faces, and it'll be that much better. There we go. There we go. What's up, Tabs? Sabine? Is it Dinah or Dana?
Dinah, yes.
Dinah. Titus Seth. There we go. Let's keep them coming. Let's keep them coming.
Still waiting on Brenda, Antion, Samia K. There we go. We moving. Alicia, Tenny, Akira. It's like we had to call people out by name, We family over here.
Right, there we go. Now it's starting to seem like a family. What's up, Faith? Y'all were hiding y'all cameras like y'all were ugly or something. Everybody
The
was
whole
great. What are
We
y'all
cute,
time.
doing?
man.
I thought y'all had a good
Alicia,
reason.
Alicia said she get her hair done. She cannot turn this camera on.
Tev said no haircut, got the do-rag on, no problem. Dom says, see, that's why he went bald. Don't have to worry about haircuts.
You also have to know when it's time to go.
I was
Yeah.
about to say, was that really a choice?
No, it was. It was choice. It was a choice. And some people hold on. I chose early. I saw the ties and the trends in the market.
It was
Hmm.
a, it was a choice. He could have flew to Turkey.
Absolutely. Could have waited for the innovation to catch up, A couple of hymns and keeps, you know how it is.
What's going on, everyone? I think there's a couple more people starting, so we'll give you guys a couple more minutes and then we'll kick it off.
Can everyone see my screen now?
Yes.
All right, perfect, perfect. So we'll keep this up. Let me pull this chat up over here on this side. We still got the chat going. I love that. Y'all are not shy. That's what I appreciate. I appreciate that. Seeing some Italian eyes. We see Collins Professional, Business and Grant Writing. Okay. Yeah, we got some good businesses in this chat. I don't know. Y'all might find some customers. Y'all might find some partners. I'm just saying. Okay, let me pull this up. All right, I'll keep this up so all right, we're 10 minutes in. We are good to go by now. First, I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Fundable Founders Learning and Information session. We already talked about as you hop in the chat, let us know you're here, give us some information, where you're from, tell us a little bit about yourself, your business, just a few housekeeping items. We want to make sure that we are dropping our questions in the chat as well until we get to the section of the session where we'll be able to come off, well, we're already off camera, but you'll be able to come off mute and ask the questions there as well. So we're going to leave some space and time for us to have a conversation about any concerns that you may have before applying or while you're in the process of applying. All right. So let's get this thing started. First things first, my name is Shakia Kegler Gray. I am the program manager at Black Ambition. So a lot of this work that relates to programming, I'm going to run it down and tell y'all how we do programming at Black Ambition. And then of course we have our partners as well. So full team, as you can see, we are a community-based organization. We do this work from the heart and for the community. So I just know when you came in, that vibe, that family centric, community aspect, it's here and it's going to stay throughout the entire duration of any programming that you do with Black Ambition, but specifically for this Florida-based program. Okay. Agenda for today about Black Ambition. We're going to talk a little bit about our track record and some of the upcoming programs that we may have, and then diving deeper into the Fundable Founders Learning Lab. We'll talk a little bit about the So Ambitious Dinner and then a applicant Q&A. So just as an overview, Black Ambition was founded in 2020 by Pharrell Williams with the mission of closing the opportunity to wealth gap. So making sure that there are opportunities to invest deeper into our businesses in our communities, so that way we can become self-sufficient. And also, a lot of our founders in this space have been traditionally overlooked by VC capital. So really just more so providing that space and that opportunity to build, scale, and grow, and ensure that our businesses are ready for that next step, but also being that first person or that first organization to put our money where our mouths are as well. And then our CEO, Felicia, she's dedicated her entire life to supporting our communities and, of course, encouraging entrepreneurs to live uninterrupted. So whatever that looks like for you, whether it's building a business of the future or that's going to make huge, change in the world, or building a business that's going to make incremental community impact. But the focus is to never stop taking up space. So though, as you can see, our leadership also embodies, the ideas and the work, and they're currently doing the work. But in just 5 years, we've been able to award over $13 million to 131 diverse founders across multiple different sectors. So our founders have went on to raise more than $280 million and generate more than $265 million in revenue. And in addition to that, they're hiring at a rate of 4.3 new employees. So that's huge. And one of the best ways that we've been able to do that is focusing on our approach, right? Our approach is a 3C model. We focus on capital through strategic investments. We also focus on coaching, so through exclusive mentorships and some of our partner and corporate partner organizations as well. And then, of course, diving deeper into community, because entrepreneurship can get lonely, right? So we host both in-person and virtual events to ensure that we are building a community around us that's going to support us and help us grow into the next phase. Now, when we talk about programming is always huge for us because we have a number of different programs that we're running, and we're constantly bringing on new programs as we're going as well. But the first one that I wanted to kind of mention right now is the Black Ambition Prize competition. This is the first competition that we started, and it's the opportunity for businesses to receive an investment from Pharrell, and it gives us the opportunity to also provide coaching and support throughout this journey as well. So this application is open right now, and the deadline is May 2nd on Friday. Another program that we have that will be coming up, so you may not see anything on our website about it, but you can also go to and join our newsletter. I'm going to drop a lot of these links in the chat after I kind of pass it off as well. But I'm going to drop these links in the chat, and that's going to be our HBCU pre-accelerator as well. If you join our newsletter, you'll be able to get access to information about updates on when that program is happening. And then, of course, the session that we're here about today is the Fundable Founders Learning Lab. The deadline for this program is on tomorrow. Now, this program was designed with the focus on empowering Florida-based businesses and ensuring that they're both capital and customer ready, and then also ready to kind of scale on to that next space as well. So again, I'll be dropping some of these links in the chat. And of course, we cannot handle this programming without the support of our community partners. And I want to tell you, like, best in class is the word that we are going to use. And that is the word that, unless y'all come up with a better word, we can work on that, team. We can work on that. But best in class, our partners at Codner and Co., and then also at Act House. they've all, well, individually, they have done some amazing work and driven programming. Some of the work that Connors has done has helped over 10,000 founders generate more than $96 million annually. So well, this is recurring on an annual basis. So they are currently doing that work. And I always see updates about how Codner is one of the best in game for e-commerce businesses. So helping businesses build out e-commerce. I see that comment a lot as well. Act House, of course, focusing on working with diverse entrepreneurs and driving a lot of the programming to really help you step into your identity as an entrepreneur. Like you really have to find yourself in this journey. And we all know that because you are business owners as well. But in addition to that, working with businesses to help boost, up to over 10 million users. So I am actually going to stop talking right now and turn this over to our partners so they can tell you some more about some of the work that they have done, and then dive deeper into this programming, and we're going to open it up for question and answer.
What's up, Dom? You want to go first or you want me to run it?
No, you got it, man. You can throw me a little alley-oop and I'll try to do a windmill or something like that.
All right, Vince Carter. So pretty much all of Dom's good ideas come from me. Uh,
I
uh,
love it.
no, but actually we go back pretty well. Dom was like college friends with my wife, and I got introduced to him pretty early. And we've been out of college for a minute. We're not going to tell our age, but it's been a minute. But and then we just did some cool stuff. Fun fact about 3, 4 years ago, we created a Sunday mastermind where we joined in prayer and just kind of like talk through business goals and stuff like that. And fun fact, we are now living out all the things that we prayed about 4 years ago. So this is cool to be able to partner on something like this. We've individually been working in different founder groups. My background is in mergers and acquisitions, like investing in companies, building them up, selling it. I did that with my own brand and in the e-commerce space, sell grooming products to Black men. We were like the Bevel for men with beards and strictly online. So a lot of those philosophies we actually bring to the table now to help our founders figure out how to build brands and direct to consumer brands. If you're in retail, wholesale, Whole Foods, Target, Nordstrom's, all these companies, we help them build an online D2C presence. And we were one of the first 16 people that Shopify partnered with to really bring that education. And thankfully, just by the nature of the work we do, we've done the keynote at Amazon, and we just been supporting a bunch of Black Ambition Prize winners in the e-com space. So happy to be here now doing something specifically for Florida because that's where I grew up. That's where I live now. So it's cool to be able to end this partnership. Yeah, I think the slide went away. There we go. I think through this partnership, it's cool because I've focused mainly on e-commerce founders, and I always get the questions of, "Hey, can you support me in this?" Or I'm a little bit different. So I think being able to connect with Dom and Act House and all the work that Black Ambition has done is going to be great over the next 10 weeks.
Absolutely. As Gamal said, that all my good ideas come from him, and I would also say that all of Gamal's exits came from me. In that respect. I'm still waiting on the trickle down percentage, but I think us collaborating in a way that's meaningful is definitely a lot of fun. So, listen, so excited that everybody is on the call. Really excited about being able to tag team with Gamal and the team. As he shared, like we've always been in the background, collaborating, connecting, supporting each other in ways that are very meaningful and next level. And then additionally, it's always good to team up with our cousins, Black Ambition. Felicia and I have been knowing each other for, I don't know, ages. I would say that she's the first person that put me on a stage back in 2014 or 2015, which shaped a lot of the trajectory of my career within startup land and ecosystems. But just quick background on myself, as Gamal and I are going to be your lead facilitators here. Background in product, team design, ops, and getting companies to venture scale and growing them. I've had a lot of fun with this, from raising a fund, deploying that fund to about 43 startups, seeing about 10 to 12 of those companies trigger returns back into the fund. It's very, very, very exciting. But I will say this. If your first question to me is about raising money, I think it's a great question. But know that my questions are probably going to be related to your product, the business, your team, and everything in between. Because those are the things that really matter in order for you to build a company that scales and grows. Venture funding is only an additive element to what you're doing. It is not the all and all be all. And there are some elements that are very crucial and critical when it comes to the scale and the growth of your company. But we're going to get into that. It's the Fundable Founders Learning Lab for a reason. And so what we want to do is ensure that we have founders that are building companies that have the growth and the scale, not only to just get funding, but to create more economic impact within the state of Florida that's really meaningful. I was born in Florida, but I was raised in Florida. Lived there since I was 8 years old from coming from the military. But it's been very exciting to see that this program is now going to impact the state of Florida in a way that's aggressively meaningful, and we're looking forward to it. And so maybe what we can do is just do a quick program outline. And I say this as you guys look at this program outline, as we share this with you, I think one of the key things that we want to share is that some of the titling of the weeks of like, hey, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4 of what we get into may seem very similar to programs that you've experienced, right? But if you know anything about what we do at Act House, we act different. If you know about anything at Cotner and Co., they act different too, right? And so as we think about what's going to happen here, this is not a time for us just to lecture to you, right? But it's a time for you all to take these tools and these systems and implement them like in the company, like immediately. We don't believe in giving out work for work's sake. It's not actually, I think we're both allergic to it. But we want to do things that are meaningful that help you begin to grow in the right direction. So as you can see kind of in the outline here, it's from week 1, really kind of reimagining or revisioning persona development and market fit. A lot of you all will probably say you did this already, but I'll give you one anecdotal representation here. One of our companies from cohort 1 in our accelerator had roughly about 232,000 users at the time they came into the accelerator. They took this activity and dove deep, right, to really begin to reimagine and reexamine what they were doing. As they started to right fit and find out new levels of understanding of their customer, they were stalled at about 232 to 300,000 users. And then there was a shift, right? And they went from 300,000 users to 1 million in 2 months. There wasn't an event. There wasn't a promotion that went out, but it helped them think differently about the different pathways and engagements, right? To actually begin to reach that customer, which is where we move into the pricing and profitability mastery, right? It's definitely key. A lot of this stuff, when we think about it, and sometimes when you think about pricing, you think about it from a top layer down. We think about it from an inside out, right? How are we actually designing product that's, very amenable to the user? And then how do we understand those touch points of value exchange to really begin to understand pricing in a way that goes to the next level, right? Go-to-market strategy. You guys are sitting with one of the best people in the game. Gamal is elite at go-to-market strategy. I haven't found another one better. And the work that he does is meaningful and honestly leads people to revenue quickly if you follow the steps, right? And to be honest with you, I'll give you guys just a quick tip on Gamal. If you didn't follow the steps and you're coming in and asking questions, he's going to ask you to follow the steps. And if you didn't follow the steps, that conversation is going to be very short. So follow the steps, dive into the details, make it happen in that regard. Customer acquisition and growth hacks week 4. And then, of course, branding, storytelling, and PR. And that's pretty much how the first 5 weeks are going to go. All right. But one thing I want to share with you all from a structure standpoint, you only just won't hear from Gamal and I. A lot of our network from Cotner & Co., Act House, Black Ambition, will be invited into these conversations in order for you all to hear from other subject matter experts. Why? Well, it's good to hear various perspectives that align to the overall focus of what we're doing. But simultaneously, you guys are going to get tired of hearing from Gamal and I. That's just a very real reality, right? We understand facilitation fatigue and how people actually begin to listen. And so our focus is to ensure that this information, these insights get into your bloodstream that transform you and make you a brand new person in that regard. Week 6, conversion, optimization, and retention. Week 7, funding readiness and pitch deck. And we titled this funding readiness because every company is not venture backed. right? And understand this, just because you're not a venture backable company does not mean that you are in the wrong business. Okay. Again, just because you don't have a venture backable company does not mean that you're in the wrong business. The reality is that a lot of these things come to unit economics, right? Market economics. There are certain return portfolios or return um, matrices that other companies have, and other funds have, and it's very important to understand that, right? So once you begin to understand that, a lot of your nervous system will settle down. You won't take things personally about like, hey, why doesn't this VC want to talk to me? Well, I mean, the reality is like you just don't fit his funding profile or her funding profile, right? So funding readiness is what we're really going to talk about here. Week 6, navigating the funding landscape. Of course, like how do we begin to maneuver through it? Week 9, strategic partnerships, and then week 10 is the capstone, right? We're not going to just set you up to learn, but we're going to set you up to be successful in the next quarter. Okay, that's very important, right? As we think about 90 days, anybody heard of the 12-week year? Some people have, some people haven't. Cool. Same philosophies here, right? The same philosophies that you can leverage in your business, you can leverage in your personal life. And for myself, like I host a quarterly retreat where founders, innovators, CEOs, creative artists, like everybody come, and we focus our efforts about what can we accomplish in 90 days or a year, right? And so a lot of the tools, tactics that we've been cultivating just over the years, you all will have access to that as we look at, okay, what's this 90-day growth plan to get you excited and focused on that time. And then, of course, we're going to have a demo day in South Florida, which is going to be a lot of fun in that regard. So I'm going to pass it over to Gamal.
Yeah, great job breaking down the details of that. I think the thing to just bring perspective to everything is one, this is all the stuff that we have lived and practiced. So I shared earlier that we went through a Sunday mastermind. It was literally a 12-week year game plan that we did. And we just did Joshua Tree last year, meeting up in person to do the exact same thing. So these are like not just theory, but things that we actually teach and practice in our life for the past few years. So that's one thing. The other thing is we're really lazy founders, not in a negative connotation, but we're choosing the path of least resistance with the best possible outcome. So there's probably going to be a million different things you can do in each of these steps. But what we're focused on is boiling it down to the most critical pieces that's going to maximize your output. Because we just don't want you to be busy doing work to feel like you're doing something. We want to actually move the needle, right? We don't get the funding and the additional programs and the different things like that to just make cool sounding stuff. We're in the business of impact and driving results. And so the reason that, there are people on the internet saying, hey, I joined this program, this Gamal's program was great, or XYZ Dom's program was great, Act House is great, is because we actually do care about driving the needle forward. So we're going to focus on simple but impactful things in all of this. We're not just going to feed you information just for you to be knowledgeable. We want to give you some stuff that you can actually leave and implement. So that's one thing. And the other piece is this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
So the most important thing is entrepreneurship can feel lonely. The community portal that we have set up, we can share a little bit more about that for those of you who are going to get accepted. But in there, it's going to be all the recordings of our modules, workbooks for each topic. You're going to be required to introduce yourself. And we have a really cool thing where it tracks your location. So you'll be able to see what other founders in the program live near you for you to be able to like connect and have some real connections offline. Because one of the hardest things about entrepreneurship is that it's lonely. Your family and your friends oftentimes can't relate. They give you advice, but it's from a place of not knowledge, but just like trying to love and support you. And
Yeah.
oftentimes that love can lead you in the wrong direction. And so we want to, secondary benefit of this program is I hope you meet some lifelong people that you could connect and collaborate with after this program is done.
Yeah. I want to round off one more element when it comes to how we look at each of these weeks, right? And a lot of you are going to request this, and believe me, if it was plausible and possible, we would. Okay. A lot of you are going to request for one-on-ones. If it was plausible and possible, we would. However, it doesn't mean that we don't want to meet one-on-one. But what we realize is that it's better to meet like 1 on 30 or 1 on 40 in order to ensure that the group sync of insight and information begins to be shared. Okay. So we tested this out. Matter of fact, I think our team tested this out last year with the pre-accelerator with Black Ambition, and we called it Founder Friday. And I think we're going to have it on Thursday, but it's an open forum where individuals come in, all of you will have access to it, and it's just question, right? Question, answer, lightning round. And it really kind of emerged after a lot of the work I was doing on Instagram with Founder Fridays, 2 minute questions, 2 minute answers. And it's a way for us to begin to accelerate context on questions that we necessarily can't answer inside of the workshops. Okay. I would firmly encourage all of you all to attend that as much as you can. Okay. It is an opportunity for us to dive a little bit deeper, answer questions, hear strategy, hear insights from other people. And what we found is that individuals that participated in that open forum actually found themselves grasping and matriculating through the information a little bit faster, and also comprehending it in a way where it was implementable, right, into their business. So I just want to give you all that strong encouragement. Like attending that open Q&A is just going to be transformational for you, because we're just going to get to real talk about what's happening in the business and how we begin to progress forward. So
Yeah, we tested the same thing, and what we found is none of us are smarter than all of us. And there's this magic with having perspective from other people who are moving and shaking and have experience in certain things that maybe all of us don't. And so the mastermind component of having the group discussions and getting feedback from everybody is really clutch. So thanks for pointing that out. You want to get into some Q&A now?
yeah, let's do it. This is the fun part.
There's some dates that is worth mentioning too. Just at a high level, we broke down the topic and the things that we're going to cover on a week by week basis. Typically, they're going to be 2 sessions. Tuesday of the week, we are going to be teaching said topic. Thursday is the Q&A open format that we just talked about. And the idea is on Tuesday, you leave with some tangible things, and you have a couple of days to either give it thought or implement. And on Thursday, we will circle back to give you specifics on the topic. And then sprinkled in here, we're going to have surprises from guest advisors and mentors. We just got confirmation for one guy. He's probably raised a little over 100 million. He's probably the top 10 person in the US of like Black people who raised the most amount of money that you've never heard of. And so I just happened to stumble across him in 2015. He was an early angel investor in Bevel and probably made 20 plus investments, raised a gazillion amounts of money, and was the chief of staff for Palantir, is like a $200 billion company. So one of the highest ranking Black guys in VC that nobody knows. And we're bringing him on to talk about what he's done as an investor and as a founder. And we just have some amazing founders to come in. So those are going to be surprises to keep everybody engaged. What we find is if people know what's going to happen, they just show up when they feel like it, and they miss a gem that they didn't know because you don't know what you don't know. And so we've been intentional about keeping the programming pretty super chill. So there's surprises built into it. And once again, these are like the rolling dates of everything. So you guys could take a screenshot of that and just kind of note it. But once again, when we reach out with the acceptance letters and the emails that should start happening over the next few days, some of you may have already started to receive that, but we're going to continue reviewing applications and reach out to those who are selected. You'll also get more information and an easier way to bookmark these dates. Yeah, let's jump into some Q&A.
So if you have any questions, this is a perfect time. You can use the hand raise feature, and the team will be able to select and let you know to come off mute. There we go. Perfect.
All right, Josiah, come on up. What you got for us?
Hi, everyone. My question, I thank you first of all for making the time to set this up. I'm glad I got the email right on time. My question is for the actual sessions on the Tuesdays and Thursdays, what time of day will it be?
Good question. The exact timing is it's gonna be midday. I believe at 8, 11:30 or 12 is the time we have. It's like midday.
Thank you.
Great question.
We have some question, well, a question in the chat. I'm pretty sure some other ones. Someone's asking, what's the last day that we would be notified of acceptance into the program?
Marlena Folasade, I want to take that.
Yeah, I'll take that. We will be accepting everyone through, let me pull up my calendar real fast. Yeah. We'll be accepting everyone through essentially the end of this week. Next Tuesday is the day that we start, so you will receive your acceptance by the end of the week. And then you'll get your credentials to log in and get acclimated into our virtual learning space shortly after that. So be sure to, I'll drop my email in the, so you'll be getting an email from me. Be sure to look out, check your spam, make sure you get everything you need.
And please check your spam. Critical. Critical. Please check your spam.
There's another question in the chat that says, if we were accepted into this, are we also able to apply to the Black Ambition Prize?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
Highly recommended to do both.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, the deadline for the prizes on Friday as well. So get both applications in. Take that time today and knock them out. I dropped them working and some Ask Me Anything sessions in the chat as well.
I think Joseph has his hand raised. Joseph, what's your question?
Yes, hello to everyone. I was asking, my wife actually logged me in to this, and we were going
That's a
to
great
apply
one.
for the Black Ambition um, competition, but I'm intrigued by this program, so I don't even know where to register for this.
I think there's a link in the chat, uh, and also a link on uh, everybody's socials from Black Ambition to Act House to Connor and Co. But we'll insert another link in the chat. I think Marlena just put it in the chat for you, so
I got it, and I'm registering now. Thank you.
you got it.
Someone said, what is the ideal candidate for this program? What's the acceptance criteria? We have a very simple, complicated, long form V6 engine algorithm that is constantly orbiting the world and the other couple of stars in the solar system that's constantly updating to make the super secret formula. But yes, there is. No, we can't reveal it because then you guys will just go update your applications and circumvent the program. But there is some criteria. We've been pleased with the companies that have applied so far. So I would just say, represent your company well, apply to your best ability, and we will try our best to reach and accept as many people that we can that fits the criteria that we're looking for. Ultimately, we just want to create some impact in the Florida ecosystem with underrepresented founders that have promise and want to grow and impact. And a lot of the applications we've been seeing so far have been in alignment with that. So I would just say try your best on answers honestly and just look forward to hearing back from us.
Seth, talk to us.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is Seth Crafts, Specialty Focused Radiology. We're over in Tampa, Florida. I'm actually from Miami, Florida, so it's good to see some Miami people here as well. Just can you elaborate a little bit more on the final event, the dinner event, as well as the capstone, and also is there going to be like a calendar that we can access that you can import and sort of give you the overall scope of the dates and times for success?
Absolutely, Seth. Absolutely. We're going to have a program calendar where everybody will have invites to the dates that our schedule. So that's number one. Number two, when it comes to the So Ambitious dinner, man, if you haven't been to one, you will be amazed. The dinner is amazing. The conversations and the people that you meet are next level. These are a couple of pictures of it. Of course, we'll be bringing in um, like the who's who when it comes to conversations and learning from those subject matter experts in that regard, which is going to be great. And then the overall capstone is not anything that you need to submit, right? We definitely want to see it in a regard because we want you to have, and I'll say it like this: we want you to have the thinking and the strategic know-how for you to replicate and do it again, right? Cool, you created one 90-day plan, but oftentimes people think that you come into a program and the program solves all your woes. No, we're here to give you the critical thinking, the strategy, and the strategic know-how, right, in order to actually replicate these things inside of your business. And I'm actually happy that like your profile of company is in the mix because we've had a radiologist and also a mental therapist come into some innovation programming that we host. And I saw that gentleman probably about 6 months later, and he was saying that, hey, everything I learned in design thinking and pricing and all these other tools, tactics, and strategies has now increased revenue in his company by 121%, right? And so I think it's exciting that your profile of business is actually going to be in the space because I also think there's just another perspective that we're going to learn based on what we're seeing within more of the service-based companies that are just doing amazing work. So hopefully that answers all the questions.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited. Thank you.
You bet, Seth. Natalie, talk to us.
Thank you. Is there a cap on the number of participants you guys are going to accept for this program?
I think it just really depends on how I feel on the inside. You know, Gamal and I have been scratching our heads and thinking about it, Shakia as well, and all that good stuff. So I would say just get your application in. You know, we know your face now, so it's gonna be hard to just say like, "Oh, Natalie, we can't stand you." Like, you know, no, you're from Florida, you're here, you're in the mix. So just apply, just apply, and have some friends apply too. If they're, you know, on that journey alongside with you. Questions, questions.
Any other questions?
There's a question in the chat that asks, will you need an invitation for the dinner? So I wanted to kind of break that piece of it down as well. The dinner, we will be selecting the top participants who will be coming to the dinner. So the dinner will be hosted on July 18th and participants, well, the curriculum ends on July 10th. So just kind of wanted to get some feedback into that. This is one of those pieces where we have a breakdown of what a top participant looks like. So just to keep that in mind, stay engaged. If you're selected for the program, make sure you're showing up to the sessions and engaging and doing the work that is asked by the team as well.
And make sure you treat Fola Shade and Marlena with top tier service because they are your front door to a lot of items and a lot of things. And as one who is like an aide to the mayor and an aide to the city commissioner in Tallahassee, Florida, I will say that oftentimes your appreciation of that front door, that person who is logistically and strategically making sure you're aligned to access the resources, is indicative of your matriculation and growth. So make sure you love on them appropriately how you need to. Send them digital flowers, real flowers if you want to. I'm pretty sure they accept gift cards and everything else in between. So, you know, do what you need to do in order to make sure you can be a top participant in the room.
The other thing,
You're encouraging them to bribe us, though? Is that what
No, not at all. I don't even know what that word means. I mean,
how you
I'm
spell that?
actually, yeah, how do you spell that?
One quick thing to the platform that we're using to host everybody, the community. We have it gamified so that we are seeing and tracking who's participating, who's sharing, who's adding value to the community, who's showing up for the calls and stuff like that. So we'll be calculating all of that. So it goes into like what we consider who are the top participants. And so I just, kind of overview of your ideas to join the program would be just to show up, add value, give, and we want to just foster a community of everyone who's being nice, who's being kind, who's sharing, who's giving. And if you have that kind of attitude coming into the program, more than likely you'll be seeing us at the dinner.
And
Is
at the
it
dinner,
just
you not only get us, but we are curating a guest list of funders, retailers, and other business owners, business leaders, and community partners. There'll be some panel sessions, but also just an opportunity for you to connect and meet with people who are going to kind of help launch you into that next space. So,
is it Josiah?
Josia, thank you.
Josie, sorry about
Um,
that.
that's okay. My question is with regards to the types of businesses, is this only for two questions to it? Is it for businesses who are just starting versus established? And is it for product-based versus service-based?
Both and both. I think that's the
Thank you.
short way to answer it. As long as you hail from Florida, life is good.
Thank you.
You bet. Sabine, did I say it right?
Yes, you said it perfectly. So yeah, that was pretty much my question. When you started talking about the profile of what you're
Yeah,
looking for, I was concerned about the stage of the business. And so Josiah's question answered that for me.
absolutely. If you're in this state, life is great. Love it. Joseph, talk to us.
How's it going? The Miami opportunity, would there be an opportunity for pitching at that dinner, or is that just a networking ordeal?
I kind of consider it as like this, right? It's definitely networking, but like as a founder, you're always pitching, right? And I
Correct.
think as we kind of talk about what pitching looks like, think about pitching is sharing. The more comfortable you are talking about your company and what you do, because people are going to ask the question, like in Western world, then most likely you're going to be sharing that, right? But as far as the opportunity to pitch front stage, here's my company, not necessarily. There's a lot of people in the room. If you're one of the top participants and you're in that room, there'll be a lot of hands you will shake. So definitely come in and have fun.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yep, yep. I thought I saw another question, but somebody probably put their hand down. Jonathan.
Jonathan, you're on mute, by the way.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm driving at the moment, but I definitely had to tune in. So,
Be careful, be careful.
wa- my question was this. You just kind of touched on it. That's why I put my hand down, but I did want to be noticed. As far as retail and product based businesses, my particular business is storm restoration.
Yeah,
Did the Hurricane Ian. I'm based in the Fort Myers area, which is like Lee County, just
yep,
an hour south of Sarasota, Tampa area. But
yep,
I was seeing if you guys actually were going to, I'm sure nobody else is doing that, but and it's pretty much like, I'm not saying this to be offensive to anyone, but it's the good old boy system down here, getting
yeah,
contracts. So
yeah,
really, you know what I mean? Like, I really want to know if you guys are interested in something like that, a venture going that way, because you see that natural disasters are just it's happening more and more often. So that's what
yeah.
you know what I mean. And I wasn't sure if you guys got my application. I was reading the replies while I'm driving. I didn't get a confirmation either, so I literally was going to apply again tonight.
Hey, no, you're
But
good, Jonathan. We see your face. Now we know the application. Strategic on your part. Good job. Like I said before, if you're in the state, life is great. Okay, so that's one. And two, man, good blue collar money is amazing to me. You know, there's so much opportunity for innovation within that space. And I think from the week by week sessions and your capturing of this information, I think it'll put you in a good position to succeed. And so, as far as how we look at the companies, if you're in the state, life is great. That's how we look at it. All right. And so from that
absolutely,
standpoint, you put your application in. Let's let the probability roll where it needs to roll. We'll move from there.
I think
absolutely.
also
Thank
you asked a question that you didn't directly ask a question, but you asked a question that other people may be thinking. I have this kind of business. Is this a good fit for me? Is what I took from this. And
Exactly. That's
I
exactly what I was looking for.
yeah,
Actually focus on.
and I think
But I think
as a founder, we have two main roles. All the great founders I know is to one, understand marketing, and the two, finance and access to capital. Our two biggest jobs are to articulate our ideas and to sell it either to customers, investors, or whomever, which is covered here. And then two, understanding how to get the capital we need to fund our business growth, which is the other topic we need here. And I can't think of any business who doesn't need clarity around marketing, customer acquisition, and growth, and getting access to capital. So I believe how we've designed this curriculum is applicable across industries if you're a Florida-based business. So if you're in the state, everything is great.
Wonderful.
Boom.
Thank you so much. And I'm gonna get my partner too. He just pulled up. He has a body shop. I'm gonna get him to apply as well.
There you
Hey,
go.
come on
There
now.
you go.
Work on that
Look,
pricing.
on the
Hey,
Zoom
Jonathan,
call.
stop driving
Yeah, I told
and
him
being
you
on
to
Zoom
apply as
calls,
well. All Florida place business. Let me end this.
Yeah.
man. Indeed. All right, man. Brenda, talk to us.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and to the panel. First, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be even in the room with a lot of great future multi-billionaires. But my question is, the my problem right now is the marketing and branding, and I was wondering at some point will there be a in-person group meeting within the program? And also, do you have anyone that's in the baking industry? I do Italian breads and jams from scratch.
Come on now. So one, I would say Gamal and I both have experience with working with your category of company is called CPG from an industry perspective,
Oh,
right? Which
yes,
means
sir.
consumer packaged goods. Okay.
Yes,
So we
sir.
both have experience in that. And to talk about and it's some anecdotal experience of that, Gamal has in the CPG category has exited a company that was in beard oil, right?
Okay.
Same tracking mechanisms as food. You're dealing with ingredients,
Mm-hmm.
portion sizes, and what do we price that for?
Okay.
We've dealt with that same type of company with a company by the name of Good Girl Chocolate, which is now in about
Oh,
150 Whole Food stores.
mm-hmm.
So you're covered on that side.
Yes,
As
sir.
far as one-on-one, as I was sharing earlier in the call, the most likely will not be one-on-one calls. Unfortunately, we just can't service
Yes.
everybody like that.
Yes.
There's roughly about 250 applicants so far.
Yes, sir.
And so, but we will be doing like one on 30, one on 40, one
Oh,
on
good.
50, right? And that is the Q&A session that we're going to have on Thursdays. And so we
Mm-hmm.
encourage everybody to come to that because it's just rolling. Hey, 2-minute questions, and then
Okay.
we're answering specifically and strategically those questions in a way that's very meaningful.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you for answering my question.
Absolutely, Ms. Brenda. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Yes, sir.
You
Bye-bye.
bet.
There was a question in the chat. I don't want to say your name wrong. Alcondra Tolbert. I know you said you couldn't raise your hand.
What's the question?
Okay, yes, sorry. I couldn't figure out how to raise my hand on here. So with my business that I'm doing, I'm branching off into government contracting. Does this like go over that in any type of way?
Yeah, we do. I think Gamal and I both have experience in government contracting. I'd have a considerable amount of experience in government contracting from my time in working in the public sector, mayoral and economic development offices in Tallahassee, Florida, and additionally having a good amount of contracts, and even to this day with like university systems, which is very similar to government contracting. So there's some great subject matter expertise in that regard.
Okay, last question.
Go ahead.
So when you guys are matching us, well, when we're picked for this program, are we matched with like certain, okay, are we matched with like certain mentors or like do they you just match them up?
No, so as we were sharing in the beginning, I don't know if you were present for that, but we don't necessarily don't match people with mentors in the program. What we do is everything is workshop based. So there'll be a workshop on Tuesday, and then there'll be an open forum Q&A on Thursday, meaning we're back on Zoom answering questions from founders. Okay. And that's pretty much how the program is structured. Now, we will have other subject matter experts coming into the pipeline. And to give you guys some understanding about how we're even looking at making those selections, we have huge Rolodexes of these individuals that are doing great work just like us, right? And oftentimes some people who are beyond us, which is also a blessing. And as we look at all the companies that would be accepted into the program, we're going to be looking at the data, category, industry, right? Background, stage, understanding that in that respects. So therefore, we can begin to like more specifically target a speaker that will actually cover the breadth of individuals at a certain time, which is just our part of just being smarter about the types of selections that we bring into the space regarding the type of programming and knowledge and information that's going to be necessary for the growth of the majority, right? And so we're thinking diligently in that manner, strategically in that manner, in order to make sure you can get the rounded understanding and knowledge that you need in order to go to the next level. Does that help?
Okay, yes, it does. Thank you.
Absolutely. You bet. You bet. All right, y'all, we have about 3 more minutes. Antion Barriola. That's a fam you grab right there.
Yes, sir. Rattlers in the building, man. Anytime Barriola the second, co-founder of St. Miles, a sanctuary for colorful brands, where we house one of the largest platforms to shop and discover Black and brown brands to help spread the $5 trillion we spend through our communities for our culture. I'm a 2023 Black Ambition Prize winner, and a part of it, well, hopping in here just because one, I love to learn, and two, the program and everybody involved is dope. So I want to be involved in everything, and always wanting to build. So, 2 questions. One for Gamal. I know you with your CPG brand that you sold, in the beginning. I mean, it's quite incredible in terms of the amount of time you're able to scale that in the beginning. I know you leveraged ads, and that time was different back in 2017 to 2022. So is there ad strategy that's going to be a part of this program? Current ad strategy, or is that, a little bit more hyper-focused?
Yeah, so we appreciate that and the context and thoroughness of your question too. The context of customer acquisition and growth is what we are going to talk about. We don't have the depth to we don't have the depth to teach ads from start in a one session. So instead of what I want to talk about are the overarching principles that make ads work that are still applicable to this day. And also the overarching principles that would allow you to take these marketing principles and apply them to any ad platform. So I think like the fundamentals of what makes marketing work is more important than the actual media buying. And last part of that, back then it was more about how to set up ads and how to press buttons. What now, realistically, with AI, it's really just about creating content that resonates and is literally hitting play and letting AI do what it has to do.
Yeah.
So it's actually a lot easier now in certain aspects.
Okay, excellent. Second part of that question, sorry, what's the time commitment like?
Yeah,
Very short. Yeah. Probably say
like time commitment that we have expected of you.
Yes.
2 hours a week, I think.
Okay.
If that. Yeah, look, I think ultimately what we've designed is there's 2 hours where we come together. There's 24 hours in a day where you're probably 75 to 80% of that time working on your company and doing the things you need to do, as you've already been doing, right? And so just create space, and we'll talk about that, like strategically outlining your calendar and thinking more from a founder perspective to move from founder to executive in that regard of how to maximize time, energy, and resources. And so the key thing is hopefully you guys are creating space or finding the touch points in your business to take something that we've shared with you and implement it, right? And that's really the key thing, to get you to work on the business instead of work in it. Does that answer it?
Yeah, that's excellent. Thank you.
Okay, cool.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Cool. It's 12:01, but I just want to make sure we don't have any more questions because applications are due and we want everybody to feel confident and comfortable getting an application. I'll say this too. You may be on this call and you may say, I know he just said they have 250 applications already. Guys, still apply. Still apply. There have been countless opportunities in my life from my first startup in 2012 to its ending in 2014 where I have applied and not been accepted, right? And that happens in life, right? Like you can't look at anything like that and say it's personal, okay? What you can do is like shoot your shot. Like, why would you tell yourself you're going to miss and you haven't even shot the ball yet, right? And the reality is, nobody can say you're going to miss. You don't know if you're going to miss until 4 or 5 seconds after the shot is like taken off. Now, if you're shooting 4 or 5 seconds in the air in a basketball hoop, you're shooting rainbow shots. But nonetheless, like the reality is that like you need to shoot your shot, right? Allow somebody else to point you in the right direction of where you need to go. And sometimes people look at no's as personal attacks. I consider them as wayfinders. It's a wayfinder for me to either discover more about what I'm doing. It's a wayfinder for me to be directed to the right program that I need to be in. And it's also a wayfinder for me to return back and ask, why didn't I get in? Right? Like all of those things lead you to a greater place. So again, like you can't determine if you're in or not, right? You can only be competitive in your application and be honest about how you're going to present yourself. And from that, just do it. Like get in the mix, make it happen, and allow the dice to play out where they need to play out.
Yeah, that's good closing advice. That boy wrapped up pretty clutch. The other thing is to go on back of that, piggyback on that, is you never know where this will end. So my life has been an amazing path of just random encounters that led into something huge. Uh, how I met Dom. I think you had invited me to speak in North Carolina one year, and I just happened to say
Yeah.
yes, where I met Felicia back in like 2017, 2018. So you never know how like one life small encounter is going to turn into something. And one of the greatest lessons is that the student will eventually become the teacher. What I mean by that is I've had two friends sleep on my couch who are now multimillionaires. We never know who the people in the room are going to be. And in a few years from now, something that you thought were not as meaningful as you thought it was, but you met someone in a room or you connected with someone. 5 years from now, maybe the person holding the check or opening a door to the next phase of your business, right? And so be intentional about taking advantage of every opportunity because that's a philosophy that I subscribe to. And you never know who we're going to meet here in the room. So that would be my parting words. Definitely apply. Even if you may not think that this is directly applicable to you, you'll be surprised at who you're going to rub shoulders with, who you're going to know, and the things that you may learn that you may not know you needed to learn.
All right. Well, it was great connecting with you all. Listen, the deadline is tomorrow. That means finish your applications today. Okay. If you have any questions prior or after this, we're gonna send this session out. Or if you're looking for the a recording of this, we're gonna send this session back out to everyone who registered to join the session, along with the slides. We'll download a PDF version and send that all to you all as well. But in the meantime, be sure to follow us on social at Black Ambition Prize to make sure you're keeping up with other programming that we have coming out, as well as joining our newsletter. And I will see you all in the application phase. All right.
One super, super,
Okay.
super small ask before we go. If we don't have it on a gram, it never really happened. So
That's very true.
I want everyone to take out their phone right now, right? Turn on your cameras. Take out your phone right now. Take a photo, a quick video. What are we gonna say? We're gonna say something. I'll let Dom come up with that. But
Oh, wow.
we're gonna take a video or Folasade or Marlena or Shakia. Someone's gonna say something.
Yeah,
And
if you're in the
we'll post this on the
state, life is
gram.
great. I think that's good.
If you're in the state, life is
You're
great.
in the state, life is great.
Yes.
What's up, Shrika? And all right, 1, 2, 3.
If you're in the
If you're in
state,
the state,
Life is
life is
life is
great.
great.
we need some
We
help
need
on that.
more. We need
We're
more
I
gonna
know
help.
work
we.
on that. That was whack,
Melissa,
but we
I
gonna
our
we gonna
think
make
Southern
it
we were
work.
queen,
muted.
Penny's still on mute.
Oh, that's what's going on. Y'all on mute.
Cassidy's still on mute. Michael's still on mute. Carlos still on mute. Akira's still on mute. Britt's
What's
still
up,
on mute. Got your
Carlos?
phone out. Still on mute. What's going on?
All right, y'all ready? And then you gotta tag us. I think y'all know the tags. If not, we'll drop it in the chat. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Y'all know what y'all saying?
Yes.
If we're in this state, life is great.
There we
Okay,
go.
good. Countdown on
All right.
3.
3, 2, 1.
If you're
In
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 the
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 state,
state,
life
life
is
is
life is
great.
great.
Life is great.
Dang,
all
some
right,
of
guys.
y'all
See
ain't
y'all
never
later.
sang on a choir, but it's all right.
Oh man.
All right, y'all.
All
See y'all
right,
later.
y'all. Have a good
Bye. Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.